Hello. Well, today we're reading a book. Let me get it in shot. There you go. Dead of Night by Simon Scarrow. This is the second of the Inspector Schenker series, the first one being Blackout. This book is set a couple of months after the end of the last one. The first one was set in 1939. This is January 1940. The war is going very well for the Germans at this point because it's, January 1940. Anyway, I should say I'm going to find it very, very difficult to talk about this book because YouTube has its own kind of censoring where you can't say certain words, things, etc., etc. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. Anyway, Dead of Night. Excuse me. I will say, if you are of a sensitive nature, one, how are you on my channel? But congrats if you are. But all jokes aside, this story does deal with one of the more horrific parts of a very horrific political party. We all know the history of World War II, or you should know at least the basics. But this goes into something far darker. I don't really want to tell you the plot because within a few lines, if you know your history at all, you'll know what's about to happen and what's about to be uncovered. It's just, the extent, the procedures, the policies in place that will shock and horrify you even more than what you already know. I will say Simon Scarrow, and I don't have any experience with this myself, obviously, because we all live in the West. He does a fantastic job of portraying and capturing the mood of the Germans at this time, of what it's like to be in Germany under this political party. I'm not going to say the name because YouTube, self-censoring. Sound familiar? Not authoritarian at all. But anyway, he does a very good job of capturing how people feel. Like, you have to be absolutely careful with what you say. What you say in front of one person the other person might report you, and that could be your best friend. That could be your father, your brother, your sister, your mother. It doesn't matter. At every point in this book, people are terrified of being denounced. And he captures it really, really well. You have Schenker, whose possibly most important male character is Hauser I'm pronouncing it wrong, is police sergeant, who's a part of the political party where Horst is not. Right then, where was I? Hauser, I don't know. Excuse the throat. Fuck have I swallowed some frogs. Anyway, even in his best mate, his most trusted lieutenant, is a member of the party. And while he can say certain amount of things, his friend does have to keep warning him. Be careful what you say. You may say something that even I must report. That must be terrifying. And like I said, he captures this psychological torture and paranoia brilliantly. The second part of the book I liked would be just a side character. In the first book, Blackout, Leibowitz, it's called, is a Gestapo officer who's sent to the police to keep an eye on him. But by the end of the book, he has to be transferred from there to the police. And, the higher-ups okay it. And even all through this book, they're still not convinced he's one of them. They aren't convinced that he is a member of the police. Like, they still can't grasp where his loyalties lie, if that makes sense. They don't know where his loyalties lie. And that's another further part of the paranoia. It's really good. I enjoyed it. And he has a very good backstory that you start to learn about him. And, the arc that he, the arc, I say arc, the journey that he goes on, where you find out that he was once a child that was deeply unloved and uncared for. And you can see how the policies and politicians and the men and the women at the time were able to use his awkwardness for their own advantages. How they were able to turn it inside out. And it's a wonderful journey that he goes on. I really enjoyed it. In the previous book, there was lots of infighting between factions of the political party. This doesn't happen so much, although we do still get appearances from the SD in Heydrich. I'm not going to lie. I'd like the way they bounce off each other, the way Schenker and Heydrich bounce off each other. I like their interactions. It's wrong, I know. Because Heydrich's an awful, awful man. Oh, the wife's ringing. 1 minute. And I'm back. So, yes, I like the interactions between him and Heydrich. As he says in the book, there is a small, albeit very small, level of respect from Heydrich to Horst. And I like that. I will say there is it's very out of field. That's why I don't like it. To me, it doesn't feel like it was set up enough. If it had happened in the next book, and he did the groundwork here fairly well, fair enough. But for me, this is a spoiler. He sleeps with the woman from the last book, Ruth, who it turns out, he finds out in the first book that she's Jewish. And obviously that's a big no-no in 1930s and 40s Germany up to 1945. So that happens, and no, I don't think it was earned. I said, if you'd have laid the groundwork in this one, and then it happened in the third book, that would have made more sense. This only seems to happen because he's finding his non-political stance is changing, and that because he keeps being told you're going to have to pick a side, be it from his masters at the police or his current girlfriend / spoiler alert again, possible fiance, but I doubt it now. He keeps being told by either side that he must pick either for or against. And this poor bugger just wants to be left alone to solve crimes in what he is finding an increasingly criminal government. It's no matter, because if you've got the right connections, you're off the hook. And that happens a number of times in this book and the previous. But anyway, that's my thoughts. It's not much, it's more ramble. I could probably, if we were free to talk about it properly, we're using the right words in the right context, because context matters, but not in today's world. Yeah? Right? Off script, this is what Gina Carano meant. Yeah? The bad stuff, the death camps didn't just happen. It started off with silly little things like not being able to say the name of a political party from the 1930s for fear of it upsetting the YouTube algorithm. For fear of upsetting people. We see it right now in the modern day with what's going off in Israel. Anyway, I'm not talking about that. I was talking about the book. Good book, go buy it. £6 on Amazon. Don't know if it's on Audible yet. But it's well worth your chance. It's well worth it. You'll get a lot out of it. I read it within 4 days. Anyway, that's all for me. Thanks for listening, watching, you know what I mean. Bye bye.